If it bleeds, I can review it. Today on Outside the Box Reviews, Predator Week continues, and today we are looking at the NECA Predators Series 8 Jungle Patrol Dutch. So this is the other Dutch that comes out in this wave, and to be honest with you, it's very similar. But as I mentioned in the last review, we kind of get the next stage of Dutch taking off his clothing. There's a lot the same here, but a few major differences as well. So let's take a closer look at Jungle Patrol Dutch. In the accessory department, we get nothing new. We get his same rifle here, same black plastic with the good silver brush strokes on it, giving it that war-weathered look. The soft rubber strap, which you could still move around and bend very easily. Really good looking weapon, but I already talked about it. Same thing we had before. We also get Dutch's handgun again. Still amazed at the detail on this. Paint apps are good. The sculpting's great. Very impressive. One thing I did notice is a little weird on this gun is there's no barrel on it. It's just a flat black chunk of plastic at the end with no real definition, which is a little strange to me, but it still works, especially for a small action figure. Works really well. And then once again, we get Dutch's little tiny survival knife, little hooked blade, silver paint. Once again, well done. Good little knife accessory. As with before, we have places for all the weapons, so we could stick the knife in his sheath over here. Handgun will go right over here. We also have a little strap over top of here to hold the gun in place, but mine actually is attached at the wrong point. It's attached kind of at the side of the case as opposed to the actual indentation where it's supposed to go. So I'll probably have to pull it off and re-glue it back in place for it to look right. Kind of strange. It's definitely a factory error, but not a big deal. Once again, NECA has done a phenomenal job on the head sculpt. Now, from what I could tell, this head sculpt is basically the same one as before, but without the stogie in his mouth, but still really good. He just looks very angry. That trademark Arnold Schwarzenegger pissed off look. Once again, that flesh-colored plastic with the translucence to it is amazing. The stubble on his chin, the paint marks on his face, the detailing in his eyes and on his lips and in his hair. Just really well done. Just great detail on his neck, the veins, the texture to his skin, all looking fantastic. The color looks great. Now in this figure, we have the green survival vest. We had the brown one on the first figure, but in the movie, he kind of magically changed vest colors, so this is movie accurate. The vest is now connected across the middle, as before it was kind of totally open to fit over his big khaki shirt, but now that that's gone, it's clipped together and the grenades are now gone. Some decent detailing on here. The brown seemed to have better paint detailing. This is more of just a plain green. There's a little bit of wear and tear weathering on there, but nothing spectacular. Turn around, it has everything it needs to have. It looks right, but the paint shading on it isn't as good as it was on the brown vest. Under that, of course, we have his camo tank top. Some really good camo patterns on there. NECA did a great job. Definitely looks really good. The vest is a soft rubbery material so it can move around, but the camo shirt is hard sculpted on there. Now in this figure we get bare arms for Arnold, which once again use that translucent plastic. They match the face tone really well and they look great. I think at this point in time Arnold was a little buffer than this. I think his arms were a little bigger, but they still look really good and really impressive. And I mean, it's definitely that classic Arnold beefiness we got going on here. But they definitely have some good weathering to them to give him that kind of dark and dirty look, tan. It's a really great job. His gloves are no longer on there. His hands are just bare hands now. We still have the watch over here on this arm. As I mentioned before, he's got his belt with his two accessories hanging off of it. His camo pants, same as before, more great detailing on it. The straps around the legs. Now down here on the other version, we actually had the sculpted in straps to hold the machete on. The machete's gone now, and so are the straps. So that's kudos to NECA for not just leaving those in here and just painting them camo color. Even though they kind of did that on the production model, but I assume those were intended to be painted black like the prototype, and I thought maybe they just paint camo over them for this version, but no. They're actually removed from the sculpt, which is really cool. And once again, these boots, I love the detail on them, the mesh look to them, the harder parts of them, the laces detailed in there, the colors are great. Detailing on the bottom, which is amazing. It's rare we get that. Yeah, there's still the copyright mark in the bottom and peg holes in the bottom, but holy cow, it's pretty cool to actually get something like that on an action figure. For articulation, it's the same as the previous Dutch. Ball jointed head, pin socket shoulders, bend and swivel at the elbow, ball jointed wrist, ball jointed mid-torso, swivel at the waist. Here's the articulation adding diaper down here to allow him to have more movement. And then we have the ball jointed legs, forward, back, out to the side, swivel at the upper leg, bend and rotate at the knee, swivel at the ankle, and then ball joint here at the foot, which is a great ball joint. Overall, once again, this is a fantastic figure. NECA really hit it out of the park with both of these guys. And I knew once I had the Jungle Extraction Dutch, the Jungle Patrol Dutch was going to be a lot of the same and be just up to the same standards. But I'm really happy with it, and I definitely do recommend this figure. As for which figure is better, I think I actually prefer the Extraction a little bit more. While I like Arnold with his arms exposed, looking more muscular, and that's what I think of when I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, is those giant guns, both literally and figuratively, that he has in every single movie. And while in some way the Jungle Extraction one kind of fits more along with the Terminator figures, where it's kind of a similar outfit with the long sleeves on and just kind of a bunch of layers of clothing on top. And this should be kind of something new and different because we really only got this from NECA in the Conan line, and those figures weren't really all that good. But I honestly think it comes down to the lack of two major things for me. The lack of the machete, which of course he wouldn't have at this point in the movie, but I really like that accessory. And the lack of the stogie. For some reason that just gave him a really great appearance, very iconic to Arnold. And even though once again it may not be as movie accurate for him to have it here, it really added to the feeling of the character, and I really enjoyed it for that fact. Maybe if they'd given us a slightly different head sculpt, slightly tweaked, not just removing the cigar, I would have liked it a little more, but this guy, he's definitely a runner-up of the two. So for me right now, this is the end of Wave 8 of Predators. As of this moment, I am skipping out on the re-released Jungle Hunter Predator with the mask. They basically just added some articulation to him, which I may or may not go back and get. It's just not enough of a draw for me to pick up a Predator I already have that version of, and I have a couple other Jungle Hunter Predators. I just don't feel as big of a need to pick up yet another. We'll see, time will tell. I may end up going back for him, but really what I wanted out of this line were the two Dutch figures, and I got them. Moving forward in Wave 9, we're getting kind of a similar setup of two Dutches and a Predator. Now one of the Dutches we get is basically this figure all over again, except without the tank top on. It's bare-chested. I don't know what the accessories are like on that one. If they include something cool, it'll be an easier get. Right now, it's kind of a debatable one. I have to go back and watch the movie. I don't think he's even like that for very long in the film. Though I might be wrong. It might be this look that he's barely in. I really don't remember at this point. And the other version that I'm super psyched about is the full-out, shirtless, mud-covered Final Battle Dutch, which is a must-have for me. That was the figure that I really wanted when I first heard about these figures. That's the iconic Dutch for me. And that's the one where he faces off with the Predator. He's actually face-to-face with the aliens, so it's really the one you want for any kind of Predator display. These ones are all kind of, I'm in the jungle doing stuff and the Predator is sneaking around behind me, but that final battle is a must-have. I can already tell you that. They're going to have to do something really, really majorly wrong for me to not recommend that figure. And also the Predator on that line is a cool one. It's a mixed semi-translucent Predator to look like he's coming out of the water after they go into the waterfall. So another piece that goes really well with the Muddy Dutch. So the next wave is shaping up to be really, really cool. You guys know I will be back for another Predator week when those hit. In the meantime, since I am leaving off one of the Predator figures, just like last time, I'm not going to leave you guys short. I'm going to leave you guys with the runner-up, really the only other option, for the viewer's choice review from last time. You guys voted by the narrowest margin, the Unmasked Berserker Predator one. Next time here, we'll be taking a look at the Cloaked Jungle Hunter Predator, another good figure to go along with this Dutch. So stay tuned for more Predator Week. Make sure you check out Outside the Box Reviews on Facebook. Link is below. And until next time, get to the chopper!